Good evening, residents of Everett, Washington. I'd like to call to order the Everett City Council meeting of January 11th, 2023, and welcome everyone to the council chambers. The City Council meets all requirements of the State of Washington Open Public Meetings Act. Tonight is a hybrid meeting. Community members are welcome to join us either in person or remote via Zoom or telephone. For those who wish to participate in the future at a meeting on Zoom, you'll find the instructions to register for public comment on the City of Everett website under the City Council Department. Please note we do not allow comments on any kind of campaigning, whether for or against ballot measures or candidates running for office, and we do not accept comments focused on personal matters that are unrelated to city business. Clerk, will you please take the roll?
Mayor Franklin.
Here.
Vice President Tui.
Here.
Councilmember Schwab.
Here.
Councilmember Fossey.
Excused?
Councilmember Zarlingo.
Here.
Councilmember Vogely. Here. Councilmember Ryan.
Here.
President Stonecipher.
Here. Councilmember Tui, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I'd like to ask Councilmember Schwab, will you please read the land acknowledgement this
I'd be
evening?
glad to. The City Council wishes to acknowledge the original inhabitants of this place, the Stohooks people and their successors, the Tulalip tribes. Since time immemorial, they have hunted, fished, gathered on, and taken care of these lands and waters. We respect their sovereignty, their right to self-determination, and honor their sacred spiritual connection with the land and water. We will strive to be honest about our past mistakes and bring about a future that includes their people, stories, and voices to form a more just and equitable society.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of January 4th, 2023?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Clerk, will you please take the roll?
Vice President Tui.
Yes.
Councilmember Schwab.
Yes.
Councilmember Zarlingo.
Yes.
Councilmember Vogely.
Yes.
Councilmember Ryan.
Yes.
President Stonecipher.
Yes, and before we get started, I wanted to make a statement to correct something last week. Councilmember Vogely brought up our council presidency record, and she had indicated that I was council president in 2021 and 2022. I do not remember that. That was that COVID year, I guess. So I just wanted the record to show that, yes, I agree, I was council president in 2021 and 2022. Did want to also point out that the council procedures don't eliminate someone from being council president for multiple years. So anyway, my apologies. I did not at all remember serving that many. Time flies when you're having fun. Anyway, with that, good evening, Mayor Franklin.
Good evening, President Stonecipher. Although Monday's the holiday, I wanted to just take a moment and reflect on the life and work and dream of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and remind our residents and council of some events that are happening this weekend in his honor. On Friday at 11:30, there's a march starting at Everett Memorial Stadium and ending at the Carl Gibson Center. And then on Sunday at 3:30, there's a celebration at the First Presbyterian Church. And there's more information on those two events on Facebook. They're both being hosted by Snohomish County Black Heritage Committee. And I do want to do a special shout out to, from our staff to Dan Bonique, who has done a lot of work to make these events happen. And then I have 12 board and commission appointments this evening that require council approval. And I also have 3 that don't require a council approval, but that I'm going to read into the record. So starting with the 3, this is a separate board. It's kind of a weird one that just has a different rules. But so for the CHIP Loan Review Committee, I'm going to be appointing Seth Jones, Bridget Larson, and Brian Bonin, filling position 1 and alternate positions 1 and 2. So those 3 are for the CHIP Loan Review Committee. But the 12 that I need approval are to a bunch of different boards and commissions. And I guess first question, can I read them all? Do we want to do them all at once? Does that make sense?
I think that makes sense.
So to the Diversity Advisory Board, and my apologies to anyone whose name I mispronounce, Miriam Merez for position 3, Leslie Shatuk to position 8, and Caressa Bacon to position 2. To the Historical Commission, Christine Svihus to position 4, and Jean Sadie Hewitt to position 6. To the Library Board, Jennifer Gordon to position 3. To the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee, Keel Whitney to position 1. To the Parks Commission, Emma Stone, position 4. Stefan Prestestater to position 5, and Erica Diaz to position 1. To the Transportation Advisory Commission, Thomas McCleve to position 4, and Christina Strand to position 8. And those are the 12 hoping for your approval for.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the 12 appointments. Is there any questions or comments before we take the roll? Clerk, will you please take the roll?
Vice President Tui,
Yes.
Councilmember Schwab,
Yes.
Councilmember Zarlingo,
Yes.
Councilmember Vogely,
Yes?
Councilmember Rhine.
Yes.
President Stonecipher.
Yes.
Thank you. And I just want to thank the staff, both the Engagement Director, Nicole Weber, as well as all the other staff that are involved in these appointments. They interview a large number of candidates, and we've been working very hard to diversify our boards and commissions, both background, ethnicity, race, as well as geography across the city, and they've really done an outstanding job. So we're getting much stronger representation from across the city from a variety of our wonderful residents. So really happy to have these new commissioners and look forward to working with them. And no further comment this evening.
Thank you. Angie, do we have anyone signed up to speak this evening?
Good evening, President Stonecipher. We do have one person in chamber, and we do have a written comment that was submitted to council and clerk and legal from Delta Neighborhood Association Steering Committee. And Paula, if you would like to come to the podium. And please state your full name, city of residence for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Thank you. Paula Townsell, District 3 resident here in Everett. I'm here, first of all, to say Happy New Year, and thank you all for the work you're doing and the work we've got to do this year. And I am hoping tonight that we can be setting a tone for a successful conclusion to the redistricting matter in the near future. So I am looking forward to that. I appreciate last week Councilmember Ryan bringing forward how a resident would file a complaint if they had an issue with the city charter not being followed. I will take that lead that we received. I also appreciate that in the past, Councilmember Schwab has made inquiries on the timeline, as has Councilmember Fossey and Councilmember Vogely. So as I was preparing what will be my comment letter of complaint next week, I do have an outstanding public records request that I'm going to add to it, but I'm basically referring still to the matter of the premature conclusion by council's vote while not following the city charter, specifically 2(1)C, having to do with the public forum that shall be held in each then existing district and the one public hearing that shall be conducted on a citywide basis. I did go back and research, and I think it would be interesting for all of us to realize that the Districting Commission was extremely successful in holding a public hearing. If you go to the Everett City Council page, go to the City Council Districts tab, go to the right column to learn more about the 2020 districting process, scroll down to the commission's meetings, watch archived meetings, and scroll to the 2020 listings, you will see on September 10th, there was a District Commission public hearing. The legal guidance was provided by Flora Diaz, so perhaps she could help us to understand what it should have looked like had one been done this time. It was 1 hour and 13 minutes. 7 of the 9 commissioners attended, meaning they had a quorum at that meeting. It was recorded. The district master was also present. Interestingly, on September 12th, there was another public hearing by the Districting Commission. It was 57 minutes. 7 of the 9 commissioners attended, the district master attended, and legal was again presented by Flora Diaz. On September 13th, there was another public hearing listed. It had 7 of the 9 commissioners. It was also recorded. It lasted 39 minutes. It had fewer speakers from the public, and it had the districting master present. Then there was Monday, September 14th, where there was another public hearing on the issue. It was 58 minutes. 6 of the 9 commissioners attended. It was the least attended one by them, but still the greatest number we would have had this year last year, 2022, in the Redistricting Commission, where we had as few as 3 commissioners present of the 9. We had another public hearing on September 15th when 7 of the 9 were present, as was again the district master, and again legal was presented by Flora Diaz. And the final public hearing, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 public hearings on districting was 59 minutes also, with 7 of the 9 attending, with the district master present, and with legal provided by Flora Diaz. So it is possible to have a public hearing on districting, as is redistricting, as is demanded and mandated under the charter, as is that meeting up there in then existing District 1. So I look forward to finding a resolution with you folks this year and getting this matter put to rest. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula, and that concludes our public comments.
Thank you. Do we have an administrative update this evening?
No update this evening.
Thank you. City Attorney Hall, what do you have for us tonight?
No report from legal and no executive session. Thanks.
Thank you. We have one item on our consent agenda, item 1. Do I hear a motion to adopt the consent item?
Councilmember Ryan moves for the adoption of our lengthy consent agenda.
Thank you.
Seconded.
Councilmember Tui seconds the motion.
We have a motion and a second for the consent agenda. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please take the roll.
Vice President Tui,
Yes.
Councilmember Schwab.
Yes.
Councilmember Zarlingo,
Yes.
Councilmember Vogely,
Yes.
Councilmember Ryan. Yes. President Stonecipher.
Yes, we'll move on to our action item. Item 2 is Council Bill 2212-69, third and final reading. Adopt an ordinance creating a special improvement project entitled Water Main Replacement Y, Fund 336, Program 035. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments before we move on to the roll? Clerk, please take the roll.
Vice President Tui,
Yes.
Councilmember Schwab,
Yes.
Councilmember Zarlingo,
Yes.
Councilmember Vogely,
Yes.
Councilmember Ryan. Yes. President Stonecipher.
Yes, and we'll move on to council comments and liaison reports. Vice President Tui.
Yeah, I just want to tell everybody, I hope they have an opportunity to get out and celebrate with the Martin Luther King Day holiday and mainly have an opportunity to reflect on the importance of this holiday for our nation. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Schwab.
Yeah, I would also ditto that comment. Thank you, Mayor, also for yours, and then announcements. The Governmental Affairs Committee met today. As you all know, that the state legislature is in full swing of things. So just to give you a quick rundown, the city has a new lobbyist, and we met with him. We did basically an overview of the upcoming legislative session. Just for discussion, just so you know, there's quite a few pre-filed bills, but there wasn't a lot that we were watching, but we're going to continue to keep an eye on those. And also, we did a quick overview of the governor's budget. Of course, that is basically 2 routes that affect funding for the needs of our city. And so we'll be keeping an eye on that. We'll be getting weekly checkups. You guys will be getting emails. Hopefully weekly is a goal. We also are in the process of scheduling a couple of updates live here at our council meeting. And then our committee will meet a couple more times. We also want to thank again Councilmember Ryan for her input. So if you have any more input too about some of the items or some of the bill numbers that you think us as a council should keep an eye on as a city, please email them to myself and to Deputy Mayor Nick Harper. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Zarlingo.
Well, I'd like to thank Councilmember Schwab for chairing the intergovernmental committee meeting today, and Nick Harper for his participation as well. For people like me who don't have as much experience with the state legislative process, that's a real help, and I'm looking forward to those weekly updates. Just one other comment about boards and commissions. Reading through the dozen applications today, I was really struck by the diversity, the expertise, and the demonstrated commitment of the people there. You know, these are people with already busy lives and success in a number of other areas in their lives and work and other service activities, and I'm impressed that they're willing to commit to even more effort. So congratulations to the mayor for attracting that. So that's really important for the city, and I'm just really thankful and amazed that they're willing to commit so much.
Thank you. Councilmember Vogely.
Thank you. I would like to take this moment to address my colleagues, the public, and city staff regarding my unprofessional responses and behavior during last week's meeting. I'm not here to make excuses, but I am human, and I let my emotions get the better of me. I would like to apologize for my actions, and I recognize the challenges that lie ahead will require all of us to work together to find success for our city and our community. I would also like to let it be known for the record that I deeply appreciate the years of public service to our city that both Council President Stonecipher and Vice President Toohey have given and continue to give to Everett to make Everett a wonderful place to live. I am hopeful that under their continued leadership, we will work collaboratively to address our challenges, find commonality in our differences, and solve problems together. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Liz. I appreciate that. Councilmember Ryan.
Great, thank you. Good evening, everybody. I had the pleasure of joining the Riverside neighborhood up in District 1 last night, and it was a great opportunity to connect with the neighborhood up there and hear more about the happenings in the neighborhood and share more about what the city's doing. Also wanted to add on to the Martin Luther King Jr. weekend that it is a weekend of service, so I would encourage folks to reach out to community groups. I know the YMCA is hosting an event on Monday for a neighborhood cleanup near the location in Everett in District 2. So I'll be there on Monday to help with cleanup, and I believe they're going to focus on the interurban trail and parking lot along Colby and just the surrounding area. So just to continue the legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s service to community, I'd encourage everybody to follow in those footsteps. Thank you.
Thank you. And I would like to announce the council will be holding a retreat on January 25th, starting at 5:30 p.m. in the chambers, and this will be in lieu of our regular daytime meeting on that day. So don't show up at 12:30 because no one's going to be here. The public is welcome to attend our retreat. However, we do not take public comment at that session. We won't be acting on any business. We'll just be discussing primarily our council procedures and other related matters about how the council is working together over the coming year. So there's no need for public comment. If you decide to attend that retreat and want to comment on things we talked about, you can submit your comments in writing, or you can come to the next council meeting and make comment about that. With no further business, we are now adjourned.